Are you new to the gym? This video is gonna save you years of wasted time. I've been working out since I was 14, and this is stuff I wish I knew when I first started. Working out is not rocket science. Exercising to improve your health and get stronger, very basic and simple, but this is the real reason why most people fail. Most people don't fail because of laziness, they fail because they're distracted. They fail because they don't know where to start and they get overwhelmed and then they get pulled away from many of life's inevitable distractions. We are surrounded day in and day out with a bunch of people all around us telling us what's best, what's not best, what doesn't work, what you're wasting your time with, what you need to do instead. All that leads to indecision. It leads to not taking any action because how do we know what to believe? The reason I still work out to this day is because I started so early and I formulated my own way of doing things. But that's different if you've never done it before and you're just trying to get into it. Where do you even begin? So instead of giving you 15 plus different lessons in this video, I'm gonna give you 3. And of course, I've saved the most important one that's helped me the most for last. Truly understanding these points will save you years. Number 1, the first lesson you need to learn about the gym and honestly life in general is stop starting over. It's the worst thing you could do because it's the hardest part. It's the hardest part of the entire process. And I can honestly say that because when you start, you go from a place where you didn't do anything before, you're so uncertain that you don't know if you're gonna be wasting your time, you aren't enthusiastic about it necessarily. Maybe you're scared to take that first step. You're gonna suck at it at first. Everybody sucks at something they first start, but once you get over that step, once you get over that hump, everything else becomes easier, especially because there's one thing that you do not have. Actually, there's many things you don't have when you start, but the most important one you don't have when you start is momentum. Momentum is something that is very challenging to generate, especially if you have to fight your own willpower and get out of your own way to take that first step. Momentum takes time to build, and once that momentum builds, it'll be that much easier to sustain. I love this analogy. Shout out to Ollie Carson. You have an airplane. How much energy and fuel and resources does it take for an airplane to take off? A lot. It's a hard process. It takes time, energy, but once that plane takes off, how hard is it to keep in the air? It's the same idea. It takes a lot of motivation, willpower, mental work, mental load, discipline. It takes all these things to get started. But once you're already in it and used to a system that you've been doing, it's not gonna take nearly as much energy to maintain where you are. You could say the same thing about any relationship you have. I'm trying to run a business, so running a business, fitness is the best example of this. And this is where I've used it for over 30 years now. And I know what you're thinking, won't I be wasting time if I just start with something that's not the best way? No, you won't. Nothing's a waste of time because the worst decision is indecision. If you start somewhere, and yeah, it might not be necessarily the best place for you or the best way, and you're gonna suck at something at first, but this is why you learn as you go. You don't get so good at something by just automatically deciding that you're gonna do something and be good at it. You do it from practice, from reps, from experience. Nobody wins the Super Bowl by accident. Shout out to Dave Ramsey for that one. So it's gonna take time. Just have zero expectations. Have zero expectations, just do the best you can, and that's literally all you can do. Because it is gonna get better. It's 1% better every single time you show up. If you keep showing up, there's gonna be progress. Something I always aim for with my clients are at least 3 strength training exercises every week, at least 64 ounces of water intake, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and 8 to 10,000 steps. Of course, the 8 to 10,000 steps and the 3 workouts per week can be interchangeable, but obviously it's better if you get both of them. So if you have these anchors, I also like doing something called a nutrition anchor. As long as you have like a small list of non-negotiables to focus on, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna keep seeing positive progress. It might not be like that. Heck, it might even be like this some days and some weeks, but progress is progress. Eventually you get to a point where you understand the nutrients you need to lose fat. You'll understand what exercises you're doing. Maybe eventually you'll start writing down what exercises you're doing so you could see that progressive overload and progress over time. The more tracking devices and markers that you have, the more you have your finger on the pulse, the more ownership you take over your journey and your progress. Guarantee you if you follow something by just showing up imperfectly, for a year's time, your entire life will change. Number two, this kind of goes with it. You got to train for progress, not exhaustion. And the busier you are, the more you're likely to get this wrong because you're already juggling so much in life. You're juggling a family, you're juggling a job that expects so much out of you. You're juggling all these responsibilities, you're wearing so many hats. Maybe you have kids, maybe your sleep's all off, maybe you don't have a set routine, and then you become this all or nothing person where you want to get 5 to 6 days of training in for the week. Train till failure and just totally give it everything you have when you don't have anything to begin with because you're too busy juggling everything as it is. But here's the truth. That's not going to help you. You cannot be an all or nothing person. I understand that motivation starts strong when somebody's in the beginning parts of their journey. But once burnout comes, and it will come fast if you approach it this way, the likelihood of you stopping is that much higher. And once you stop, that's when all progress ceases and you could actually start going the other direction. This is why, especially when it comes to the gym, I want to emphasize progressive overload, because when you do progressive overload, you have to track, first of all. You have to have a visual of getting heavier every single time. It's evidence that your muscle is growing and getting stronger. So I encourage you to put your ego to the side, start imperfect. Listen to your body and do stuff you enjoy. If you end up resenting the whole process and just hating every second of it, that's not gonna do you any good at all. You have to find enjoyment in the process. And to do that, I don't know, whatever it may be, put your headphones in, make a game out of it. That's what I like to do. I like to make a game out of it, and that's why I like to write it down, because I could literally see what my progress is every single time I show up, regardless of how I feel, and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna at least try to do what I did last time. And even if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Some days are gonna be better than others. On days when you don't feel like it and you still show up, because that is the most important part, just think of it as meditation, because that's what it is too. It's something to help your body relax. And that might sound weird to you if you've never tried it. It is a form of meditation. It's probably the best. I always say, like, exercise is the best anti-drug. Just moving your body, it releases those feel-good endorphins, and it just makes everything better. And the number 3 most important lesson that I've learned about fitness over the years, that I wish I knew when I started, was to build for longevity. It's the long game, guys. It's the long haul. And yes, this may sound cliche to you, but it does not happen overnight. You're building something. And I want to encourage you, this might be even more important too, you have to enjoy the journey. There is nothing you can do to get jacked. Let me assure you and reassure you, if you're a woman, that you will not get jacked in a short amount of time. This is something that deters some of the women clients I've had over the years. It's like, I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. Okay, you won't, because that takes years of dedication and hard work. But even if that is your goal, even if you are chasing that body, it's a good thing that it doesn't happen overnight, because it's so much more than just aesthetic. It's so much more than that. Rushing leads to a whole plethora of consequences. And I've touched on some of these already. Risk of injury, quitting, fad dieting, burnout. This is a marathon. Think of it like mountain climbing. You don't just look up and stare at the peak all day long. You focus on your next step. Focus on the obstacles that are ahead. And if you're a busy parent or somebody who works up to 60 hours or more a week, your daily non-negotiables are simple. Hit your workouts, hit your protein, hit your steps, hit your water, get your sleep. Even if the workouts look the same 3 times a week, doesn't matter. You showed up, you do that a long enough time, your whole life will change. If you're overwhelmed by the fitness industry noise that's everywhere, take a pause, simplify, and most importantly, stop starting over. Train for progress, build for longevity. Do that for 6 months to a year. It will change your life and it'll save you years of frustration. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below consistent. And I always say that you cannot out-train bad eating habits, but you can have good enough eating habits to outdo bad training. So with that in mind, if I could only eat 3 foods that could help me with my fat loss journey, these would be them. If this video helped you today, make sure you like it. It helps show it to more people who might need it. And subscribe for more fat loss advice that actually lasts.